What's up, tribe? Thank you for being here and welcome to our channel. Today's post is titled Intuition, and as it's a dialogue between Matias and his higher self, I'll be referring to Matias as me and his higher self as I am. And as my brother's German Shepherd is barking in the background, I'm just gonna apologize in advance and hope you can hear me nonetheless. That being said, let's get into it. Me. All night, I was connected to something that made me feel as tired as it was comfortable. The being who presented himself made me feel the dark pressure of everyone and find such incredible peace that I could only let myself relax, sleep. My whole body melted into the depths. His darkness was so light that my being could not interpret whether his presence was leading us to death or peace. And in a way, I could feel that it was both in one feeling. My mind expected something dense, perhaps dark. But where it led us, there was nothing but light. A light under pressure. A deep light. Different from what we're used to. We usually see light as coming from the sky, from the sun. And therefore, its brightness is related to the subtle and invisible of the air, levitating to the high vibration, considering that its opposite is dark, painful, dense. But nevertheless, I kept seeing light, only it was different. The shadows shone in a different way. It was like seeing the light in the shadows, the balance and the fullness under the greatest of pressures. That feeling remains in me. My cells still recognize it. I am. Because the physical concept of going deep is not the same as the concept from the point of mental perception. For the mind, the concept of depth is not related to going down, to going dark, to burying oneself in a well miles under the earth. But going deep implies finding the unity of all things, the subtlety that you usually associate with light is linked to expansion, to amplitude, but it is still the one that creates separation, different options and purposes. For the mind to feel the real, the center, it must go inwards. It must pull all things back together, and everything that expands shines in different colors, which when joined together generate only one color. If it is matter, together they will create black. If it is light, together they will create white. If you concentrate on the light vision of the spirit, you will see all the colors become one, the pure light, and the pressure of all the energy, instead of taking you to the shadows, will take you to greater clarity. This is the origin of the concept of enlightenment. Me, that is to say that the search for enlightenment is not in ascending towards the heavens, towards the light, because the light is not only up there. I am. The idea you have of enlightenment is conditioned to your vision of humanity, with your feet on the ground and your head in the sky, seeing the sun that shines up there makes you consider that to shine like him, you must go up to the plane celestial, that is to say, to the celestial color that arises from the light reflecting in the oxygen, nitrogen, and argon of the atmosphere. It's almost killing the magic of the spiritual. I am. Could it be? However, I think it is opening my eyes to be properly spiritual. Spirit comes from the Latin word spirare, which means to breathe. And clearly, oxygen, argon, and nitrogen is what you breathe. In a way, the only way to become a spiritually heavenly being is to breathe in the gases of the atmosphere with full awareness of being here and now on every breath in and out. In this way, lighting is a social and cultural concept of the position of light in space. What is true enlightenment? I am. Go deep into the light, to its ability to manifest. For spirits, it is to become a living being made of carbon and other minerals. For living beings, it is to become precious metals such as gold, platinum, and diamond, also carbon, but under greater pressure. The more pressure. I am. Thus, a being does not illuminate when it frees itself from its creative potential, but when it manages to radiate from its center under all pressures. This is why we decided to be born. Is this also why beings who seek enlightenment go through calvaries and martyrdoms? I am. Calvary comes from Latin and means skull. The concept means going deep into a process, so much so that you get to the bones, the foundations that support your body. Mater comes from the Greek and means witness, and in turn in Latin means to stand up for something. We could say that the fact that a martyr lives a Calvary means taking the responsibility to go deeper to find the truth. And throwing yourself into living, that implies a lot of will, that is, throwing yourself into the shadows of suffering, of confusion, all to prove that you can go further. I am. What the human perceives as suffering, the martyr perceives as felt. That is, a human seeks to survive, considering that the only thing he has is his body and the things that his body can accumulate, trying to overcome conflicts in most cases by denying them, due to the need to find momentary happiness related to the physical and emotional comfort. Thus, an ordinary human will take the senses as a tool to identify said pleasure or discomfort, to get rid of the latter as soon as possible. On the other hand, when an individual becomes aware that death does not exist and goes to the depths of his truth, he's not afraid to face anything, because he understands that pressure and suffering are nothing more than the accumulation of light, which are the unification of all roads, and that to feel them all, you must expand your capacity to feel to the limit. Taking your five senses to the maximum goes from being uncomfortable to pleasant, churning the system and finding orgasm in suffering, finding the light in the middle of the shadows. Me, it's hard to imagine, but I understand what you mean. It's like that feeling that many of us sometimes have. For example, a joke so bad that it makes us laugh too much. Or a song so horrible that we cannot stop humming it, as if the brain collapsed, entering a kind of system breakdown, finding a crack through which to see the reverse option. Like when Francis of Assisi saw light in the sick, in the garbage, in things that others considered dirty, he saw love and light. I am. That is when one begins to find the path of enlightenment. Therefore, the only way to true enlightenment is to pass through and integrate all shadows. That is why you must learn to enter the darkness and pressure. That is why you must make your suffering and misery your greatest allies. And so, with your eyes closed, without fear of anything, you can guide yourself in the flaming shadows like a phoenix. Me. Is faith? I am. Oh no. That's intuition. Me. What is intuition? I am. It comes from the Latin in and nuti, which mean interior and contemplation, gaze, observation, respectively. Intuition is the ability to see clearly with closed eyes, to have keen vision in the shadows, to perceive beyond what one believes. Intuition is the mother of faith, which finds its origin in the Latin fides, trust in something or someone. It implies that once I have had internal clarity in what I have seen through my shadows, I recognize that I have no choice but to trust my intuition. Intuition is not the daughter of faith, since faith implies blind trust and without question in something. But to get there, you must have had to first experience what it feels like to trust that outside agent. And the only thing that makes you trust something is the internal sensation that gives you clarity in the vision of things. That is, in your intuition. Intuition is not what the human considers. It does not imply feeling that something must be done with some ignorance about the factor. But on the contrary, intuition shows a deep clarity in the causes and effects of something with total completeness. This gives confidence, faith. Me. They say that intuition is something much more feminine than masculine. Why? I am. The masculine aspect of existence is positive. It means that it is projected outwards, which seeks solutions externally, at a point objective, in a more practical and concrete way, in the fractals and patterns of realities. The feminine aspect is negative, that is, internal, which is projected into the being, connecting with the pulse that connects the matrix, the network, where everything is perceived without direction, but from perception and sensations. For this reason, the feminine design of reality, the woman, has developed more skills in the tuning of the five senses, which allows her to be attentive to many things at the same time, while the man only focuses on a single specific point. So, like a spider, no matter what part of the tissue moves, it will feel you. Intuition is having the ability to feel in all directions, clearly perceive more aspects, interconnected. Therefore, the intuition is in the pressure of the center, where all the forces are united in one. And like the spider, to feel him, you need patience. Me, patience is a great key to intuition. I am. The female body is biologically prepared for patience, since the female orgasm is more prolonged and expanded, not focused on a specific area. After sex, come 9 months of gestation and slow changes, then months in which the baby will depend on his body for heat and nutrition. Your body will feel the drive in the baby's growth for years. The male man is easily detached because his orgasm is fast. His role in the biological spectrum of pregnancy is fleeting and lasts a few minutes. Therefore, the masculine design is conscious and hairy, and the feminine is slow and subconscious, which allows the woman to be better able to immerse herself, to sustain suffering for a longer time, to control many more emotions than man, to do alchemy with her body, to go to the depths of her soul. And this is the reason why women tend to wake up spiritually faster than men, and in greater numbers, because internal sensitivity makes it easier for them to move in pressure and shadows. Patience is the attribute of the female body, and this term comes from the Latin patire, which means to suffer. Patience is the attribute of the sufferer, of sapere, below iron. That is, it supports a great weight. Me. So intuition is the ability to see clearly in the shadows, but to be able to see well, I must dare to immerse myself in them and bear their weight. That is, be patient. Patience is almost impossible in a global civilization like the current one, where we want everything now, fast. I am. That is the true conceptual patriarchy. The need for everything to be right now. Already like a male. Phallocentric orgasm. To get to the depths of being, you need patience. Feel the pressure. Contemplate. You will only find intuition in the joy and expansion of the five senses through the tormenting calvary of the orgasmic suffering of patience. Me. Is this why we live in a world with so much suffering? I am. Suffering is an option in life. You don't have to put yourself below anyone to find the center. You can turn patience into an art of contemplation, in which what was considered to suffer and suffer from unconsciousness now becomes contemplation and growth from consciousness. In the journey to the depths of the center of your being, breathe in, Hold. Breathe out. Only you can put on the necessary weight of the world you are willing to hold, to find your capabilities. Every human awakens his capacities under pressure, and when you break everything you thought you were, you find the light in the shadows, the intuition. Me. Intuition, then, becomes the art of focusing the light in the shadows, of finding what was hidden in the pressure of my being. I wish to awaken my intuition, to have the ability to perceive with my senses the light that lies within me, the clarity of my spirit in the center. I am, well, learn from patience. Life only finds light in the pressure of birth, after the pressure of gestation. Turn suffering into your inward journey. Free yourself of the cultural preconceptions that you have of this journey to the deep. Recognize all the things that have made you suffer, all the people that have led you to live the maximum pressure of your life, and recognize the brightness that they have managed to get out of you. Me, it's true. All those who have made me suffer have not achieved anything other than awakening the brightness with which I radiate today. I am. So then, accept its pressure. Become a diamond, and in the brilliance of its crystallized veins, you will see reflected the clarity of your soul and spirit, and you will discover in the shadows the intuition that will let you see beyond all times and spaces. Close your eyes and dream. There, you can really see.